Wonder who that is. Well, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? You know, when I said 3 years ago that fullbacks in centre back were the meta, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? You're not. That was a bit of a joke, just a bit of a reference to, well, I suppose in the UK and you followed something that happened in 2016, you will know where that reference is from. But this is something I wanted to bring up, fullbacks in centre back. Let me just give you a bit of the download and story. Back in the day, I couldn't afford a good squad in FIFA. I was a kid, I didn't have time to play that much, and I couldn't afford Koscielny. Koscielny in FIFA 11 was a very, very expensive player. Because I couldn't afford him, naturally I had to find someone else. So I moved Micah Richards and I put him at centre back in FIFA 11 or FIFA 10, whichever one it was, and he was god tier. And I've always used that approach all the way to FIFA 18. I was using Juanfran, the SBC, when it came out, and I was using him in left back off chemistry. And I was using him sometimes in centre back. In 19, I kind of used fullbacks a little bit. I let it go because obviously the beach ball meta came along. But now FIFA 20, when I made that video, as I mentioned over there, and this one over here, let's go all the way up to, what date was this? I think it was March sometime. I don't know, my computer is unfortunately lagging at this time, but it was, yeah, it was May 22nd, and I made this video because since the beginning of the game, people were wondering why I was using fullbacks in centre backs. So hopefully everyone understands that reasoning why. Now the question I want people asking is, which is the best centre backs to play? So we're going to go through them today. I'm going to go through some of them which I think are meta, my top 5, and some cheap options as well. The first one we're going to start off is with, I would say, one that I've been using very recently is Diego Dalot. Top, as my friend likes to say, a top tier card. I've been using him as a left back. I've been playing him on 7 chemistry. He's been a formidable centre back. The most important thing is agility, balance, and sprint speed. So those are the combinations you want. If you find a fullback with really good pace but bad agility and balance, it's not worth it. A good example I can probably give to you is someone like Varane. Varane is a top tier centre back with a shadow, but the issue is he hasn't got the best agility and balance. So someone like Neymar has the ball, they're using agile dribbling. If they're turning very quickly, you'll be able to catch up. You can't catch up with someone like Varane because they can turn faster than you can move. So although the pace is important and acceleration and sprint speed, even with the ball, your opponent can outpace you because of agility and balance. And that's to do with returning. So think about like handling on a car. Think about it that way. So the low, if you're playing like, you know, let's say fours or whatever, the lower handling you have, the harder it is to turn a corner. It doesn't matter how fast your car is at that point. The most important thing is also handling. So a combination of those together is what makes a very, very good centre back. So I prioritize 3 things. I prioritize sprint speed, agility, and balance. Stat attack I don't even look at. Defense awareness I don't. Are they important? Yes. But those are the 3 things important. Then I look at stand tackling and defensive awareness, interceptions. Ideally try to find someone who's 6 foot. You can't always try to find someone at 6 foot, but around 5'10" I think is a perfect height for a centre back. Try to get medium high work rate instead of high medium. So try to get high defensive work rates. Now, is this important? Maybe and maybe not. With high defensive work rates, I find that when AI is controlling them, they're positioned in a much better place. So someone like me, I can use low defensive work rates, but if you're not a very good player, and I'm talking about maybe Elite 2 and above, you need to, in my opinion, go for medium or high. Do not go to low. So I'll say just use medium or high. High, better ideally. So we're going to go with the first player, Diego Dalot, another top tier card player. I highly recommend him if you're looking to get him as a fullback in centre back. Going in with the number 4 position, we have gone with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was one of my favourite cards. I still use him now. In fact, he was so good, I actually had other players in centre back, and I kept going back to him because he was so good. I played with him 113 games. You might be thinking, why so less? It's because I sold him and I bought him back. He's perfect because he's medium high defensive work rate. So he's a top tier card. He's 6 foot. The benefit is he does have the strength as well. He does lack the jumping, but no one really crosses the ball in, and even if they do, most crosses are chest height when it comes to a driven cross. So chest height or kind of lower torso near the abs, so it's not really a big issue. From corners, you move the goalkeeper punches it away, so you're fine with that. But another top tier card, in my opinion, the best centre back, better than Gomez. So instead of buying Gomez, just buy Mr. Wan-Bissaka. And we go over to position number 3. It was a contested one. It goes to Mukiele. Mukiele was a right back, and don't forget, you can play even something like Mukiele. I played him on 4 chemistry. If there was a time when I was playing Mukiele on 4 chemistry, medium, but he has everything. He's I would say stats wise he's the best centre back. The best physical, jumping, stamina, strength, aggression. Got stand tackling, defensive awareness, interceptions, and he's got agility and balance, and he's got the pace. This is the best all-around centre back. If you were going to get a centre back and you haven't done a Mukiele card, you're a bit of in trouble. But if you have him, he's the best centre back on paper. On paper, he's the best one. For me, the best one for the past 3 years is Semedo. Now, I can't explain to you what it is with Semedo, but he's not. I'm not joking. He's actually the top 3 centre backs in the game. Now, you might laugh, okay? Maybe with Team of the Year, someone like Reece James or Trent, maybe they take the limit above Semedo, but I can't explain to you. If you've seen me on stream, and don't forget I do stream on twitch.tv/NeilGuides, he just has something extra. I can't explain it. He's always in the right place at the right time. His agility and balance feels like 99. I can't explain it. When you use him, you'll see what I'm saying. Very good stamina, good aggression. I think it's the aggression combined with the stand tackling, with the agility and balance and the reactions, and of course the sprint speed, which ultimately make him the best centre back in my opinion. He does lack the height, but I think because he's medium high, he's always at the right place at the right time. So I'd strongly recommend for you to get Semedo if you can afford him. I mean, he's only like 10k now, 5k. So I mean, everyone can afford him, but I would say play him and Wan-Bissaka. So you've got a Premier League team, play these guys. In fact, I'd rather put Semedo on 4 chemistry as a sub gets 5, but I'll say as 4 chemistry, I'd rather have Semedo than have someone like Gomez or VVD. That is really saying something. But he's not left my team ever since, and he's come back in. But the number 1 slot goes to the best centre back in the game, and that is Cuadrado. Now, this card is formidable in CDM. I play him in both CDM and centre back. High medium, so he hasn't got the best of the defensive higher work rates, but his natural stats, 88 stand tackling, 90 slide tackling, top tier agility and balance, and that sprint speed with that aggression make him a top tier card. I don't think there's any centre back I've used yet. I briefly used some other cards. You can argue like Capita right back, but you know, he just feels something like something else. Maybe you can argue the contention is that Team of the Year Trent in centre back will be a better card, maybe in Reece James. But certainly some of these players have a certain feel. It's kind of like Neymar. Once you use him, you can't get rid of him. But that is my top 5 centre backs. And my best advice is if you are looking for someone, you're looking for a centre back to play or full back to play in a centre back position, search for FIFA 21 players. And you want to go over to on Footbin, go to stats. I'll say minimum 85 sprint speed. So don't put it on pace, put it on sprint speed, because acceleration, it's important, but not the end of the world. Agility and balance, I would say 80. And then for the stand tackling, I would say, oops, let me do that. Stand tackling, I'll say 75 and 75. So interception, hang on, marking, sorry. It used to be called defensive awareness. It's still important, but it's not the end of the world. Filter those, and if you're looking, for example, for a league centre back, let's say, for example, you're looking at, let's say La Liga, you try to find a player, and for example, Navas is a good player, but he's a tad bit short. Can he play centre back? Yes, he can, but he's 5'8". So ideally, try to look for someone that's got high defensive work rates, and of course, is 5'8". Of course, you can go down even further. So let's say, for example, you want specific work rate, so you can do this over here. So you have all these filters over here. So if we go over here, we can type in high defensive work rate, and you can see all the players. So someone like Torreira, which is very good. The only issue is a lot of these players are very short. So Cunha is a very good centre back. Llorente, if you move him to centre back position, is really good. Torreira, and you can see Semedo where he's in there as well. And in fact, I've used Kappa at centre back as well. So these are all examples of top tier players. Again, Acuna is a bit on the short side. So is Torreira. Kappa has that role perfectly well. But I prefer Semedo. So that's just a good example of how you can search for those. So in my opinion, whenever I'm making a team, I'm not looking at anything else. The first thing I'm thinking of, okay, what team do I have and which fullback can I play in that role? And that's the way I look at it. I don't even use centre backs anymore because it's absolutely pointless. There is no reason to use it. Even prime, this is the thing I want to tell you, even if you're for example a gold 1 player, let's say even an elite 3 player, if you use prime Maldini, a top 100 player, or maybe, okay, I'll say maybe an elite 3 player, with prime Maldini, you can give a bronze card to a pro player and they'll still play better. Why? It's because their positioning is the most important thing. If you have pace, you can make a mistake and you can recover in time. You can run and jockey faster, you can run and jockey quicker, you can turn quicker, you can react to your opponent, you can cut passing lanes quicker, you can do everything quicker with just the pace. When you have agility and balance, it completely makes, I suppose you can say, traditional centre backs obsolete. The only way that I say centre backs will come back into the game is if they make crossing very, very effective, which I hope they don't, because in my opinion it's got no skill involved. But apart from that, most crosses are chest height, as I said, or like lower torso driven crosses, or towards the knee areas. Even if someone's short, they can still deal with it. And even if it's a corner, people move the goalkeeper most of the time, so you should be fine. But that is the video. And just in case, if you haven't, well, leave a comment down below in the description of your best centre back or your best fullback playing in centre back if you are watching the video today. I just want to see what people are using as well. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of a different one. Tried to get my acting skills back in for my A-star drama. But guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.